Welcome back to a brand new episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It. This time we were playing The Last Stand Aftermath. I'm your host, Boston, playing this on the PC. I'm joined as always by Moonpear.
Hello, PC for me.
Um, we we talked about it last time that we're moving from our previous game to Last Stand Aftermath here. So let's go over kind of quickly what this game is. It's an isometric, I almost called it a twin stick shooter, but that's not really right. But it has kind of the control scheme there. It's a run based FTL style exploration zombie game.
Yes.
Yeah. I unfortunately got pretty sick this week. I'm still recovering here, so I haven't had as much
Yeah.
time to play this as I wanted to. But I'm kind of, first impressions here are good. I'm kind of digging what this game is putting down. How much have you had a chance
Yes.
to check out? Because I know you're under the weather as well.
Um, I probably only played maybe like an hour and change of it.
Okay.
Um, I'm still in my first run.
Okay.
Um, and mechanically, this game is super unique so far.
Mm-hmm. I I really liked that the tutorial was really
It's
good.
like 4 seconds flat, and then you immediately die.
You immediately like that's what I wrote here. My first note is LOL, the tutorial kills you almost immediately, because I was like, oh man, maybe if I could run deeper into over by, nope, okay, no, there's, oh my god, that's like 400 zombies. Oh my god. Oh, okay, I was supposed to lose that. All right, sure. um but I kind of like how this game, how do I put it, it's a slower paced game where it seems like the intention really is you go, you have your FTL style map, you pick another node to go to. You're picking about like a large neighborhood or a restaurant or a shopping district or something like that. Um, and when you get there, I like that the focus really seems to be so far kind of picking through everything, moving slowly, like
Mhm.
really getting as many materials and as many things as you can out of this environment. It's not like go into this area and blah 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 blah, like kill 5,000 zombies. It's really, you got to get all the pieces you can in this area before you move on. I think
Yes.
that's kind of neat. It's a slower paced thing than I think we've been playing stuff recently, which I appreciate.
Yeah, like, but it doesn't feel slow. It feels deliberate so far,
Yes, yeah,
which I think is pretty cool because it's the gameplay is very much in tone with the world. Now, it's been a while since we've really done any zombie based anything.
true, yeah,
Like, well, obviously minus Dying Light 2, that's different.
right.
Um,
That's a very different thing. Yeah.
but like feeling that vibe shift, and the game looks beautiful, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like it looks fantastic, and like the slow, deliberate nature of everything. I'm always like the time I've been playing it so far, I'm always torn. Like, do I kill them or do I run?
Right.
Uh, have you run into the mutation system at all yet?
Oh boy, did I. Let me tell you how my first run ended. Um,
Okay. Did you
yeah.
get one of the explodey guys? Because I got one of the explodey guys.
Well, there was at least one. Yeah. So for anyone that isn't playing, um, basically the every character that you're playing as is dying of this infection, and the whole idea is we need to send you out into the wilderness to gather as many resources as we can, and also if we can find out what the reason is for the whole zombie infection, that would be great too. But don't worry about it. And your health is kind of constantly being replaced by infections. And you
Mm-hmm.
can stave those off by injecting yourself with, I don't remember what they call antiviral, I think it's called. Um, but there's like a consumable for your antiviral. There's also like the Gears of War kind of active reload stuff, which is kind of fun. Um,
Yes.
but the you have a number of pips of health, and when one of those pips gets replaced with the purple infections, you can pick a mutation, and it will have a usually a big bonus, but also a big downside to it as well. Um, I got blown up by one of those big, like boomer zombies, and
Mm-hmm.
it replaced one of my pips of health, but I was able to pop an antiviral I had just found and sort of get back to normal. I was like, okay, that's fine. I went through like two more nodes on the map, and I was like, all right, I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but I don't have another antiviral, so I was playing really cautiously. I was trying to use a bunch of bullets rather than use melee, like trying to keep the enemies at a distance. And,
Yes.
and I'm in a house and I'm clearing it and it's going really well. And I turn a corner and leave to go to the the outside, and one of those boomers just rushes me from across the yard and blows up on me, gives me three mutations at once because it just
Yep.
point blank blew up on me. I was like,
Mm-hmm. And
oh,
they have like an AoE effect that I didn't
yes,
realize it until I got out of it.
yeah. So I got to pick three mutations at that point. I think the health bar has 6 or 7 pips, so I'm like about halfway to dying. And I was like, all right, a lot of these are really strong because I can do like I take 20 or 30% more damage, but I'm doing like 40% more melee damage, and stuff like that. So like they have a huge benefit, but they also have a fairly big downside. And I was like, okay, I can still make it. I just picked up like 30 bullets, or like I made them somehow. The whole crafting thing
Yes.
is still a
It's
little
weird.
fuzzy for me. Um,
By the way, on the crafting. I do like the fact that you experiment and get the recipes, and then you keep the
yes,
recipes.
yeah.
Uh, uh, Electronics and scrap. In case you haven't tried it yet, that
Mm.
gives you a battery. Just so you know.
Oh, okay, interesting. Um, so I'm like, all right, I'm still doing okay. I'm feeling a little bit rough. No big deal. I can make it through. And then I ran into something I had no idea was in this game. I go back through the house, and there were basically two paths. I go the other path, and I step on a trip mine trap that I had no idea was there, and it just blew me up in one shot. I was like, okay, well, there we
I
go.
uh, I discovered a lot of shotguns in houses.
Uh huh.
They're not nice.
No, so I'm. It's funny because like when I died like that, you and I have been playing roguelikes for so long. When you die to something like that, you just have to laugh. You're like, okay, well, learn my lesson. There are traps in houses now. All right, we'll on a future run. I will find out what the traps look like. No big deal. I have one more piece of information in my kit now, but I realized that I that's one of the reasons why I love roguelikes. It's like, yeah, I got blown up. That was incredible. I was having like
Hmm.
a great run that went south in literally 2 seconds. I love this genre. So
Yeah, it's weird, and
yeah.
and again, I really like the fact that it's slower and deliberate, and it's very much in tune with the thing.
Yep. Yeah, I ran into like a dark power like a basement without power at some point. And they're like, "Oh, you can pop on your flashlight by hitting this button." I was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna sneak around these zombies, like pilfer this entire area and get back out. I'm not gonna turn on my flashlight. What are you killing me here? Come on, man."
Yep,
Um,
and it does the smart thing too of like, hey, you're in this building. There is 5 question marks for you to discover.
yeah, because you can pull the left trigger, I think it is, to do the
Yes, to focus mode.
yeah. It's cool because it's like, well, this way is your car. but there's a bunch of question marks over here, and maybe a handful of symbols that I don't really know what they mean quite yet. But there's at least an idea of like, do I have anything near me? Is there anything interesting in this area, or should I just put the fuel in the car and get the hell out of here? So
Yep.
this game's cool.
Yeah.
I these are one of those pleasant surprises where you look at it and you're like, okay, it's like an isometric zombie shooter, sure, yep. But there's some interesting stuff in here, I think, and it left a pretty good impression on my first run, which I think we've played a lot of roguelikes recently that I think struggle, especially in the early, where you're like, well, I kind of hope this game opens up because I'm not quite seeing it yet. But I think this game, especially with the tutorial killing you almost immediately,
Yes.
and thankfully giving you the message that I wish way more roguelikes would be, which is like, hey man, you're gonna die. Get
Yeah.
over it.
And like I've enjoyed the story so far in this, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so what's gonna happen here is a bunch of people survived.
Mm-hmm.
5% of the population survived the apocalypse, but hey, guess what? Viruses mutate.
Right.
Things are about to get worse.
Yep. I also like that it's like 5% of the population survived. You're not it. Like,
Hmm.
that ain't you, man. You're gonna go get supplies so the rest of us can
Yeah.
keep living.
Hey, you've been infected. Guess what? Your last hope is a suicide run into the wastes to try and find supplies for everybody.
Yep. And
Um,
I like too when you start a new run. When you start your first run, you only get the one character class.
it's
Um,
the long walk. The
oh, the
long
long
walk from
walk.
Judge
That's right.
Dredd.
That's such a good term for it, man. Um, when you pick your run, I like that after your first proper run, you get a bunch of archetypes. Like here's the guy that has guns. Here's the medic. Here's the all rounder. Here's the like they have easy to understand kind of archetypes to them, other than this person has a med kit and this is John. He's got a bunch of guns. It's like, no, I want to know what, like, quote unquote class this person is. Like, is it a gunner? Is it a melee person? Is it a tank? Like, what am I
Oh,
what am I doing here? I
yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah,
yeah. It's been fun so far.
yeah, seems cool. Any final thoughts here for week one of the Last Stand Aftermath?
No, it seems pretty great, and like flavor wise, like yeah, sure, flavor wise,
Yeah,
it's been fun to play like a different speed, but one that actually suits its genre. Its mechanics all seem very much in line with the story that they're trying to tell.
true. Yeah, yeah. I think people should give this one a shot. So far, first impressions are pretty solid here. So,
Hmm.
all right, that's our first week of the Last Stand Aftermath. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
But